In this video, I build out a Fender Mustang style guitar. During the build, I want to 1. Build an economical version of a Mustang, 2. Build a Mustang with specifications you may not necessarily find in a Squire level Mustang, like rosewood neck, fender parts, etc. And then 3, try and build a Mustang with a hardtail, stop-tail vibrato, and bridge setup. I don't use the tremolo on most of my guitars. I think this is why I like Telecasters so much. It is just simplicity and, in my opinion, also tuning stability. The project started 3 months ago with me buying a Squire Vintage Modified 2017 Mustang body in vintage white, and I only paid $100 for it, and it's in excellent condition. I figured I'd eventually use it in a build project for the channel. When it arrived, I put it in a holding box waiting for the rest of the parts that I'd eventually order. Next, I purchased a Ben Gibbard vibrato bridge that is a stop tail, or also called a hardtail. I bought it used for $55. It came off of the Fender Ben Gibbard signature Mustang. Ben Gibbard is basically the primary vocalist and songwriter for Death Cab for Cutie, and very talented man. They take a Fender Mustang vibrato and then they swap out and they remove a few parts. The springs are gone, and the shafts that normally hold the attached springs are replaced with Allen screws and a couple spacers. Next was the pickguard, and it was only $11.99 on Reverb. I went really simple with just a white 3-ply pickguard. I already had the chrome control plate, but they go for about $15 if you buy one used on Reverb or new. The neck is an all-parts neck that is finished by a company called 1950s Finishes. I've used their necks before, and they have a store on Reverb. It has a C-shape, 22 fret, 24-inch scale length, maple neck, and rosewood fretboard. They pre-install a Graphtec nut, and then they finish the neck in nitro lacquer for $232. The pickups are handmade by Tone Hatch Pickups. They're the vintage, period-correct A2 Mustang and Duosonic pickups. They only took a couple weeks to have made, and were only $69.95. The electronics are mostly the same that I use in Telecaster circuit builds. You get 2 CTS solid shaft CTS pots, a .047 orange drop capacitor, and a Switchcraft output jack. The only Mustang specific parts are the 2 on-off-on slide switches. They go for about $14 a piece, and you need 2 of them. The 2 black control knobs go for about $15 a set. True Custom Shop sells a parts kit with all of these exact name brand components for $47.97 on Reverb. This is actually a really good deal, and is the way that I went. It does not come with a wiring diagram, but that's easily remedied in a few minutes searching on the internet for a Fender accurate diagram. The remaining part to acquire was a Mustang bridge. If you shop around, you can find one new for about $44, used a little bit less. For the project, I spent about $600 total. Before anyone says in the comments, yes, a Fender Player 2 Mustang has just about the same profile and specifications for about $799. I really didn't want a string-through body guitar. I really wanted to try the stop vibrato that had been locked down. I also purchased the parts over the course of 3 months, and the most important reason, I wanted to build it. I didn't just want to buy a guitar. I was really excited about building this guitar. It's actually been a few weeks since I've built an entire guitar, and I was actually having withdrawals. The body was in excellent shape, and is made of basswood, which is okay. If you can find one of these guitars intact, the vintage modified version of the Mustang, they usually go for a really reasonable price. They have a maple and rosewood neck and have Duncan Designed pickups. They're really a great value. The neck from 1950s Finishes on Reverb is also a great value. You could purchase the all-parts neck and install the nut and finish it in the same manner, but it'd really end up costing you about the same. I had to ream the tuner holes a little to install the vintage-style tuners. The vibrato that I received was missing one of the 2 round spacers that installs below the stop tail. I improvised because I was impatient with washers on both sides, so it sits the same height as what the spacer would have had it. The stop tail is connected to the plate with 2 screws that lock it in place. There's no movement of this stop tail. It's a vibrato in name only, and it actually has all the Fender logo and branding on the outside of it. Right out of the box, visually, I'm really impressed with the Tone Hatch pickups. I cannot believe that I only paid $69 for a custom set of hand-wound vintage correct pickups. They look to be very well made, and at first glance look to be something comparable to a much higher costing product. I really like building out a Mustang wiring harness. Soldering the wires to the back of the two switches to me is kind of cathartic. When you're done, it looks like the kid's string game, Jacob's Ladder. When I Googled the name of the game to see if I had properly named it, I found that the string game is actually used as a therapy aid for anxiety. It kind of really makes sense. After I assembled everything and strung up the guitar for the first time, I ended up having to pull the neck and install a maple neck shim. The string height was too high, and the bridge adjustment screws were just bottoming out on the guitar, not leaving me any more adjustment capability. After installing the shim, everything was as it should be. After tuning, I proceeded to measure the neck relief and found it to be set properly already. The nut was fine except for the low E slot. I needed to file just a small amount to get the string to rest in the slot properly and for the string to be at the correct height. The first time I plugged the guitar into my bench amp, I could not get any output from the guitar. When I took the control plate off the guitar, it worked. When I'd reinstall the control plate, the guitar would cut out again. What I ultimately discovered was the prior owner had installed copper tape really pretty thick, and it actually changed the depth measurement of the cavity for the electronics. The output jack, when the guitar cable was plugged in, was actually touching the copper tape in the bottom of the cavity, and it was shorting the ground. I put some strips of electrical tape in the bottom of the cavity where the output jack was touching to prevent it from doing this, and when I buttoned things up, the problem was gone. I also noticed a lot of 60 cycle hum. It did not go away when I touched the strings, which should have been a good indicator to me of what was wrong. It was dinner time, so I packed up and went into the house to eat. After dinner, it hit me that I didn't remember soldering a bridge ground to the circuit I built. I went back out to my bench, and sure enough, there was nothing there. There was no ground wire from the bridge. I heated up the thimble and pulled it out from the body. I fed a new wire with exposed strands into the thimble cavity. I reinserted the thimble and then soldered the other end of the wire to the back of the volume pot. Yay! As soon as I started playing, there was no unintended noise. The tone hatch pickups I received and installed on this guitar are an incredible value. They're definitely priced below, I think, what they're actually worth. I've had channel viewers tell me in the comments repeatedly to give them a try. This is my first time using them. I am most definitely going to order other types of pickups from them to try in my builds. The sound and build quality are comparable to Mustang pickup sets that I've paid well over $200 for a set. I'm very happy with them in this guitar. Overall, I really like the looks and playability of the guitar. With a short 24-inch scale, it's so easy to play. The guitar looks like a new guitar that someone installed a relic neck onto. I really like relic necks when they are done correctly, and this neck feels like a well broken in neck, something that fits really well with this guitar. This, for the moment, is one of my favorite guitars in my collection. I've been hanging it on the guitar hook next to my TV inside my house, the place of honor for me for a guitar, where it's readily available and something I can play on a regular basis.